morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic on introduction of animal behavior. First of all, I would like to deduce about the behavior. What is behavior? Basically, the behavior in which we act or behave with the conspecific or with their environment, or any animal behave or act with their conspecific or with their environment. That is called behavior or animal behavior. And the branch in which we study about the animal behavior is called ethology. It's a branch of zoology in which we study about the animal behavior. This is called ethology. Now, biologically we can define the animal behavior. It is a very scientific study of wild animals in which animal interacts with their members of their species as well as with their environment. This branch that we can say it's a ethology. It is the scientific, biological and specific study of animal behavior. The term ethology was first coined by Nico Tinbergen in 1950. When we want to study about the animal behavior, we should know some basic concepts about the behavior. First of all, we should know about the proximate versus ultimate causation. When we want to understand the proximate causation, we can take example. Why does a cat or dog or any animal eat the food? Because if we want to give the proximate explanation, because we can say the dog or cat is hungry, that's why after seeing the food it immediately begin to eat. And the proximate causation behind this hunger is narrow sighted, short and narrow sighted explanation, due to which it immediately start to take the or to eat the food. Next, ultimate causation. The same questions. Why does a cat, dog or other animals start the food or start to eat the food? The ultimate causation explain the evolutionary reason. The dog or any other animals eats because it must not die, and it must not die of hungry, and it must survive to reproduce. It must reproduce for their continuation of its race or genus or species. That's why it immediately start to eat. So the little difference between, or the basic difference between these two, in proximate causation we can say that it is a very short and narrow sighted, while in the ultimate causation it has the evolutionary base that takes a long time to develop this behavior. Now we can discuss the different branches of ethology. There are some newly developed branch of ethology. First is ecoethology, in which we can study the effect of environment on animal behavior. The second is ethophysiology, in which we study about the effect of behavior on animal physiological organs or animal physiological
systems and their relation with behavior. The third branch is ethoendocrinology, in which we can study about the relation or effect of hormones on the animal behavior. The fourth is ethogenetics, in which we can correlate the relation of genes or chromosomes and expression of these genes on animal behavior. The fifth is behavioral embryology, in which we can study about the prenatal development and their relation with their behavior. So these are the some emerging branch of ethology. Now we discuss about the historical development of this ethology. During the developmental process, first of all, Aristotle, who is also called the father of biology as well as father of zoology, he also tried to understand the behavior of some animals and wrote a very famous book that is called Historia Animae. Aristotle, after Aristotle, a lot of physiologists, psychologists, zoologists, biologists try to understand the behavior and wrote different books. In this chain, William Harvey in 17th century presented his work in a book, and the work basically based on the breeding, nestling and incubating behavior of different birds. But overall, in the historical period, there were the three great scientists who worked or who gave a significant work and founded the laid the foundation of the branch of ethology. The three great ethologists were Nobel. They were shared the Nobel Prize in 1973 in physiology and medicine, and in this first was Konrad Lorenz. He was basically animal psychologist, born in Vienna, Austria in 1903, and he was died in 1989. He is called the founder father of ethology, and he worked on the behavior of many pets like shrews, frogs, monkeys, dogs, jackdaw, and grey-lag geese, and written a very important books on the animal behavior. The second scientist or second ethologist who also shared the Nobel Prize was Nico Tinbergen. He was born in Holland but worked in England, and he was born in 1907 and he was died in 1988. Their work was based on the insects. Fine. Ultimately, he worked a lot of work on insects like butterfly and digger wasp. After performing their experiments on the insects, he gave a theory that is called, a very famous theory that is called sign stimuli, which is a very important part of innate or instinctive behavior. The third Nobel laureate was Professor Carl von Frisch. He was born in Vienna in 1886 and was died in 1982. But as a scientist, he worked in Germany. He preferred to work on the behavior of bees, and for a long time he worked on the behavior of these bees and beehive and their social structure, and after their experiments he performed he explained the dance theory. He explained the dance theory, and in this dance theory he presented the work and showed that bees have the two types of dance, that is called round dance and wiggle dance, for finding the food source and their location and angle to the sun. He also has worked on color vision in fishes. He also he explained that bee can perceive the color. That's why they can search their flower source or food source. That's why Professor Paul von Frisch also shared the Nobel Prize with Konrad Lorenz and Nico Tinkerman. This is the developmental part of historical developmental part of animal. Thank you.